Let's call the Board of Franklin County Commissioners General Session for September 13th, 2016 to order. Begin this morning's meeting with Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. All right. I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the August 23rd, 2016 general session and the minutes of the August 25th, 2016 briefing session.
I'll move approval.
I second it.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
The minutes have been approved.
All right. For the interest of this morning's meeting, we had decided to move the Human Resources Resolution to the front of the agenda, and we are to accommodate folks, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So, Human Resources.
Resolution number 665-16, resolution authorizing a modification to the contract with United Behavioral Health Incorporated to extend on-site employee assistant counseling services for employees of the Department of Job and Family Services in the amount of $8,190.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources.
And Jody Lease, also representing Human Resources, Benefits and Wellness. This resolution does modify a current contract with United Behavioral Health, and it allows us to continue on-site employee assistance program, or we refer to it as EAP services, for the Northeast and West Job and Family Services Opportunity Centers. The contract modifies the counseling schedule that's currently in place. It reduces the number of individual counseling hours, but it also introduced group counseling hours into the program, and each opportunity center will have the opportunity to determine what topic they would like to cover in the group counseling session, and they will be able to determine what best fits their employees and what is timely for that population. Our goal ultimately is to continue to provide the on-site EAP services and also increase the overall visibility and awareness of EAP services as a whole. The monthly cost for this program, or for the modified schedule, is $1,170 a month. And pending any further questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Jody, thank you. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Thank you for putting this together. You know, we have, obviously we have a need for EAP services, especially at our Job and Family Services Department. Currently, we have a need for them at the Animal Care and Control Center due to the distemper outbreak that we have up there and all that's going on. So, one, I'd like to thank everybody for the compassion and concern that they've shown for the animals at the dog shelter. Certainly, we are all heartbroken over what has happened and what the hard work and the difficult work that's going to continue. So please, going forward, if you can keep in mind not only those animals, but the employees at the Animal Care and Control Center that are having to deal with this situation, handle it. It's a very stressful, very emotional time, and we have EAP services on site up there now, working with the employees, and that's good stuff. I would, before we take a vote, if we could, I'd like to have County Administrator Wilson give a report on the situation at the Animal Care and Control Center.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Appreciate the opportunity to brief the board and the public regarding an update of the activities at Animal Care and Control. The infectious disease outbreak at the Franklin County Dog Shelter is a difficult and terrible situation, and one that this board and county administration takes very seriously. We are monitoring this very closely, and we ask for the community's support as well as the staff at the shelter as we work through this. When a diagnosis of K9 distemper virus was made on September the 3rd, the veterinary staff at the shelter increased screenings for CDV symptoms. They identified a number of respiratory infections among dogs at the shelter, including 2 more possible cases of CDV. Shelter staff met late Thursday and Friday morning and determined that the best course of action was to close the shelter down in order to review the health of all dogs in the shelter. County administration and shelter leadership then quickly moved to consult with a team of the community's most respected minds in both public health and veterinary medicine, including experts from the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical College, the Capital Area Humane Society, Columbus Public Health on addressing the outbreak. Since then, shelter staff and a team of medical professionals have been working around the clock to manage the outbreak by screening and monitoring the health and symptoms of each and every dog. They also have provided care and consultation at no cost to any dog that has recently been adopted from the shelter. While only one dog has been officially confirmed as positive for the canine distemper virus, numerous others have clinical symptoms consistent with CDV and other serious respiratory infections. Dogs carrying the virus, as you know, are highly contagious and can spread the virus to others up to 5 days before any visible signs of illness. As of this morning, 60 dogs evaluated for infectious disease risks have been euthanized, either because of the severity of their symptoms or the low likelihood that they could humanely tolerate the long quarantine period, which could be up to 6 weeks. An additional 4 dogs were euthanized for other reasons compliant with established shelter practices and policies unassociated with the infectious disease outbreak. Shelter leadership is working to transfer suitable dogs to other capable rescue and veterinary practices for quarantine, while also working to maximize the number of dogs for which the shelter itself can provide high-quality care during the quarantine. Since Friday, we've created completely separate areas within the building to isolate those already exposed from those new unexposed dogs that continue to enter the facility. Meanwhile, we have partially reopened the shelter to allow owners to lost dogs to reclaim them, but we will not be offering dogs for adoption or accepting dogs turned in by their owners at this time. While we are laser focused on managing the situation at hand going forward, the board, county administration, and Director Winster will launch in consultation with infectious disease and veterinary health professionals a comprehensive review of existing infectious disease protocols to ensure that Franklin County is still in line with the nation's best practices. I would like to thank all parties involved in responding to this situation to date. Director Don Winster, who just recently joined us, and all other shelter senior staff members, medical and veterinary staff from around the community, the Capital Area Humane Society, and the Ohio State University Veterinary College, Columbus Public Health, and last but not least, our Deputy Administrator, Eric Janis. They all have worked tirelessly to protect public health and the ultimate welfare of all dogs under the care and custody of the shelter, ensuring that all are treated in the most humane way possible given their health status. If there are any other questions, this would conclude where we are at this point in time as of September 13th in responding to this crisis, Commissioners.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. I would also add in the thank yous, Tyler, our Public Affairs Director, in transmitting a lot of the communications to the public, and his team in Public Affairs doing an outstanding job over the weekend getting information out. And I think working together, we are going to solve this issue, and I think in the midst of the crisis, we're getting everything out that we need to, and I appreciate you being on top of everything. Thank you. I will move approval of this resolution, 66516.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 665-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 666-16, resolution approving personnel actions.
Oh, yeah.
Personnel actions. This week, Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 transfer within the agency. Department of Job and Family Services, 2 new hires, 4 promotions, 1 rate increase, 1 administrative leave, and 1 resignation. Public Facilities Management, 1 temporary work, level 1 resignation and 1 removal. And Sanitary Engineering, 1 reclassification. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
I'll move approval of 66616.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 666-16 has been adopted.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
Thank everybody for their patience this morning. We'll go back to domestic relations.
Resolution number 657-16, resolution authorizing a First Amendment to the 2017 grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Youth Services in the amount of $490,410.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director, and with me this morning is Diane Mueller, our Chief Probation Officer. This resolution is requesting several changes to our 2017 grant agreement, which include adding Buckeye Ranch as a new provider to both our mental health services and our residential treatment program, adding a conflict mediation program to mediate school truancies cases for youth, also increasing the clinical assessment program, which will provide on-site evaluation of youth for early intervention programming. And lastly is we're adding a law enforcement program called TAPS with the Columbus Police Department, which will work with youth as mentors.
So I just wanted to add that these programs are really working to put our focus on diverting kids from deeper involvement in the system. The mediation program will work with youth that are on probation, but in lieu of school suspensions, we'll have the opportunity to have that mediated. And the school is open to also mediating non-probation youth who are possibly getting school suspensions so that they don't get suspended. We know that school problems are the first precursor to juvenile delinquency, so we really want to work on that. The assessment program also will work to divert youth from getting further involved in the system, and assuming that they are assessed and linked with services, they'll have the opportunity to have their charges dismissed. These are misdemeanor charges that we'll be working on.
Good.
This is great.
Good partners, too, so great stuff.
This is great. I'll move approval of resolution 65716.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 657-16 has been adopted.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
The engineer.
Resolution number 658-16, resolution approving street storm sewer, water, and grading improvement plans for Woodland Creek, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Morning, Cornell.
Good morning,
Cornell stopped in
Commissioners.
and brought me good news before he even came in this morning.
Oh, good news, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
My name is Cornell Robertson, for the record, representing County Engineer Dean Ringel. This subdivision is in the northeast part of the county, in Jefferson Township, west of Wagner Road and north of Havens Corners Road. With this resolution, we are asking you to approve and sign the plans.
I will move for approval of 65816.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 658-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cornell. Veteran Services. Morning, Buck.
Good morning.
Good.
Resolution number 659-16, resolution authorizing contract extensions for Veterans Service Commission medical and emergency transportation in the amount of $250,000.
Good morning. Also, Commissioner Brown, thank you for seeing me today.
Sure.
This resolution simply seeks to extend the fourth and final one-year option to our medical transportation program.
Excellent.
I'll move for approval of 65916.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 659-16 has been adopted.
Keep up the good work, Director.
Thank you, sir.
Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 660-16, resolution approving a subaward amendment with Goodwill Columbus for workforce development services targeting unemployed Franklin County child support obligors, an increase of $8,000 for a total amount of $57,555.29.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lance Porter, representing Job and Family Services. This resolution will approve an amendment to an existing contract with Goodwill Columbus. It is for workforce services to target unemployed child support obligors through the Child Support Enforcement Agency, Catalyst, and Compass programs. This will enable them to continue the services through their initial contract period, which expires on September 30th of this year. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 66016.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 660-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 661-16, resolution approving 3 subaward amendments with Community, Refugee, and Immigration Services, Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services, and Jewish Family Services for employability programs under the Refugee Social Services Program in the amount of $922,677.
Commissioners, these services are funded by the Refugee Social Service Grant, and they're for refugees who have recently resettled into Franklin County. Some of the services that are provided include employment placement, retention services, and English for the workplace instruction. And pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 66116.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 661-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 662-16, resolution approving 2 subaward amendments with Community, Refugee, and Immigration Services and Jewish Family Services for employment services programmed under the Refugee Social Services Program in the amount of $483,000.
Commissioners, this is pretty similar, but the funding is provided through the Refugee Target Assistance Grant, and it is for refugees that have been living in Franklin County for at least a 6-month period of time, and is offered through 2 different providers in the other 3. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 66216.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 662-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 663-16, resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriation for social services contract.
Commissioners, my final resolution will authorize supplemental appropriations to award the remaining federal fiscal year 2016 social service contracts and to begin to award the federal fiscal year 2017 contracts. The agency has reviewed current and projecting spending of existing contracts and new contracts to determine the need. Getting any questions, we'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 66316.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 663-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Homeland Security and Justice Programs.
Resolution number 664-16, resolution to amend the Tier 4 Communications Partnership between Franklin County and the State of Ohio Marks IP System in the amount of $28,769.28.
Good morning.
Greg.
Greg Plants with Homeland Security and Justice Programs. This resolution is to amend the original agreement with Ohio Multi-Agency Radio Communication System, where we're in agreement for a portion of the system controller maintenance, and it was agreed that once all of our users were added to the new system, it will be recalculated based on that, which results in this $28,769.28, which is a reduction from the original $56,000.
Excellent.
I'll move approval of 66416.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 664-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 667-16, resolution authorizing a contract extension with Leo Myers Incorporated for staff uniforms for various county agencies in the amount of $65,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Balania, representing the Purchasing Department. This resolution requests your approval of a contract extension with Leo Myers to provide and supply for the delivery of staff uniforms. These services were competitively bid in 2015 through the purchasing department. The original contract was for a one-year term with 4 optional one-year extensions. This will be the first extension period. And prices will not increase. They'll remain firm and fixed throughout the contract term. Pending any questions, we recommend approval.
Move approval of 66716.
Second the motion.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 667-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 668-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $797,491.24.
In this resolution, before you request your approval of 127 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
Move approval of 66816.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 668-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Board of County Commissioners.
Resolution number 669-16, resolution accepting the amended amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission for collection in calendar year 2016 and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. The Board of Commissioners previously approved Resolution 760-15, October 13, 2015, to approve the amounts and rates of the necessary tax levies for collection in 2016. At that time, the Zoological Park levy was not included pending the outcome of the November 2015 general election. Given the approval of that levy at the ballot last year, this is just to certify the amount for this year.
So this is just really tax housekeeping, if you will.
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll move approval of 66916.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 669-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 670-16, resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission for collection in calendar year 2017 and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Similar to the last resolution, this is the annual requirement to certify the rates prior to October 1st for collection in the ensuing year. Pending any questions, would ask your approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of 67016.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 670-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 671-16, resolution appointing Gary Lombard to the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Jerry Lombard has a long, distinguished career in the hospitality industry here in Central Ohio, and she's currently the General Manager of a Hotel Levesque. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of this appointment.
Jerry's a fantastic addition to this board.
She'll be great. I move approval of 67116.
It's really a pleasure to second this motion. Jerry is a standout leader in not just our community, but in the entire industry. So she'll do a fantastic job, and she will watch over the operations of the CFA very closely.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 671-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 672-16, resolution reappointing Sally W. Bloomfield and Rhett C. Reichart to the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority.
Commissioners, pending any questions, would recommend these reappointments for you.
Also outstanding members who've been working so hard on the redo of the convention center. Move approval of 67216.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 672-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Eric.
Resolution number 670. Well, do you want to ask for it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Can, Antoine, do we have journalizations?
We don't have it.
For the record. Thank you for that.
Resolution number 673-16, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending or imminent court action.
I move to convene into executive session to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject of pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 673-16 has been adopted.
All right, that concludes the meeting for this morning. We will convene into executive session, come back here afterwards to close executive session. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.